So welcome back to how to create an e-commerce website. So far we've looked at branding your e-commerce website. We looked at installing some of the main tools like the domain you're going to need, WordPress, the theme, page builder. We also looked at customizing many of these tools like the storefront, the cart flows. And in our last module, we looked at optimizing your website, installing an SSL certificate, images, security, backup, and even caching. But in this video, we're going to be looking at search engine optimization. We're going to look at some of those pro features in Astra as well as Elementor Pro. But let's look at some of the features so you'd want to know if you're going to stick around for the remainder of the video. So the first tool we're going to look at is RankMath. RankMath is one of the leading search engine optimization plugins. I find this is even more useful than some of the popular search engine optimization plugins like Yoast and some of the others. Let's look at some of the things you're going to get with RankMath. For one, you're going to get over 15 built-in modules that enables you to configure all your requirements. One thing I like about it is the step-by-step wizard that helps you to set up everything. It's very clean and simple to use. Also, it's built with performance in mind. RankMath is really considered an all-in-one solution. It has search engine analyzers. It integrates with Google Search Console, as well as it integrates with keyword ranking. In addition to that, we're going to be looking at the premium features for Astra theme. We've been using the free version of Astra so far, but Astra do have a pro version that is normally $59 but is currently at $47. It also have the mini agency bundle, which comes with a WordPress portfolio plugin. It also comes with an additional add-on for Elementor or Beaver Builder, depending on which one you use. If you're much bigger and you're doing a lot of websites for other companies, then maybe the agency bundle might work for you. I got the mini agency bundle. This works very good for me. But you could probably work with just Astra Pro since it's going to get you most of the pro features you're going to need, and we're going to look at some of those in this video. The features I'm most interested in looking at is the WooCommerce features. So here we have some of the key WooCommerce features that will come with a pro add-on. Things like infinite scroll. So instead of you going from page to page, as you scroll down, it will automatically move to the next batch of products. It also comes with an off-canvas sidebar. So as you click on the filter button, you could adjust things like prices, filter by color, and so on. You would also get a quick view customization that allows you to simply click on the product and get a quick view of what it would look like and even add it to your cart. Some of the other features that will come with the Pro Edition is the gallery option, which allows you to change the way your product gallery looks. You could zoom in, click on the image, and let it maximize with a light box. In addition to some of the other features, you're going to be able to customize how your checkout looks. Things like using a two-step checkout, as well as hiding certain fields that you don't use. Lastly, we're going to look at Elementor Pro. We've been using the free edition so far, but you can get a Pro edition starting at $49 for one site, or if you're going to be using it on more than one website, it has a $99 version for 3 websites, or if you're a freelancer and doing a lot more websites, then you may want to go for the Expert Edition, practically unlimited. It caps you at about 1,000 websites. Some of the features we want to be focusing on is the WooCommerce elements that come with it. Elementor Pro allows you to customize your Woo elements. You'll be able to build out your own customized single product page or your archive page. We're going to be looking at how we could use some of these features right from our homepage. So my name is Joshua from Vivid Consultant, and if this looked like something that you'll be interested in, please click the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. When we post more videos like this, you'll be notified. So let's jump into the back end and get started. To install RankMath, we will come to plugins, click on add new. Let's come to the search box. Let's type RankMath, and this first one here is the one we want. Let's choose install now and then activate. If you haven't created a free account, that's the first thing we want to do. So let's choose connect your account. Since this will be a new sign up for this website, I'll choose register now. I'll click use email address. I'm going to enter my name, email address, and register. I'll choose the checkbox to accept the terms and condition and just choose register. and then I'll choose OK. So we'll select easy and we'll just choose Start Wizard. If you were using another SEO plugin such as Yoast, then you could select it and import the settings. Since I'm doing this from scratch, I'm going to choose Skip, don't import now. You can choose what type of store you're operating. I'm going to choose a small business site. Then you can choose the business type. I'm going to choose local business. You'll enter your company name. You can change or update your logo as necessary. I'm going to choose save and continue. Here you could link your Google Search Console to your website. I've included a step-by-step guide to show you how you can do this. I won't be doing this for this part of the tutorial, but I'll put this link in the description so you could follow it and link your Search Console to the website. I will choose save and continue. Okay, and we can now return to the dashboard. So here are some of the default settings that we could set. Let's look at changing our separator character. I'm going to change mine to this one. You could also decide if you would like to capitalize your title. It will automatically change the first character to capital letters. Let's come to local SEO. We could include an email address for our store. You could also enter your local address if you have a physical store location. So if you have a physical store, here's where you'd want to indicate your opening hours. You could change your opening hours format. I will change mine to this format. Here you could change your phone number. If you would like to indicate a price range for your product, you could also indicate that here. So if you have a contact page, here's where you can select it. Just click the drop down arrow and you could type the name of your contact page, select it, and we'll scroll down and choose save changes. Let's look at where you could update your social media information. If you scroll up, come to social meta, and you could enter your social media pages here, such as Facebook. You could scroll down, you have your Twitter username. Let's look at how we could customize the SEO details for a product. Let's come to products and let's choose all products. Let's select the product that you would like to edit. As you notice right now, you're not seeing any SEO ranking here because we haven't set any of the details. So let's come to the product and we'll choose edit. Currently, you'll notice that the SEO ranking is 5 out of 100. So there's some work for us to do. If we scroll down on the page, and here we have the RankMath SEO section. So the first thing we want to do is to provide a focus keyword. Let's say the focus keyword is printed t-shirt. And let's select enter. Okay, so we'll notice that the ranking already jumps up to 49, but it gives us some indication here as some of the things that we can use to increase our ranking. So notice it indicates that the focus keyword is not found in the SEO meta description. So let's click on the edit snippet. So the first thing we'll notice that the title is within the length of characters, is 40 out of 60. However, as we come down, we'll notice that our permalink is too long. So you'd want to adjust this so it fits within the recommended characters, which is 75. So I will take out motorcycle and I will leave it as a shorter version. It would be ideal to have your focus keyword in the description. So let's say quality dark teal printed t-shirt. That is, so I've entered some description. I've included my keyword at the beginning of the text, and as I scroll down, you'll notice I now have a tick at each of these. Notice you have another recommendation. Focus keyword doesn't appear at the beginning of your content. So as you scroll up, you'll notice we have the content here. So let's assume we enter that at the beginning of our content. Printed t-shirt. If you scroll down, you'll notice you now have a green check mark indicating that you've actually completed that. So you could continue going through each of the recommendation and see if there's an opportunity for you to improve the SEO ranking for each of the recommendations. You may not be able to achieve you may not be able to complete all of the recommendation because some of the recommendation is based on performing a blog post or so on. So you may not have a description that will meet the recommended word lengths, like 600 words, but you'll do your best to ensure the main things you've at least achieved them. Once you've done so, let's scroll up and update. You would repeat the same steps for the rest of your products. You would also do the same thing for your pages and any posts that you may include in your website. But let's continue and look at the Pro features in Astra. Once you've purchased the Pro add-on, we could add it by going to Plugins, Add New. Let's select Upload Plugin, and then we will select our plugin. Choose Install Now and Activate Plugin. Let's activate the plugin. We'll choose Please Activate. You'll get your activation key. You'll post it in the window and then activate the license. I'll do that now. Once you've activated Astra Pro with your activation license, you'd want to go and turn on the modules that you're going to be using. It's best practice to only turn on those that you're going to use. In our case, let's activate WooCommerce. I'm also going to activate custom layouts and mobile header. I'm also going to activate colors and background, typography, and header sections. I'm going to leave the others for now. I'll probably do a separate video to go through some of the other Pro features of Astra. But let's get into customizing our WooCommerce website. Let's come to Appearance and then we'll choose Customize. So we'll begin by going to WooCommerce and we'll go to General. So if we go to All Products, just so that we could get an example of how this is going to change our website. So the first thing we want to look at updating is the sales notification. So if we click the drop down arrow, we could change it from default to custom string. Here, instead of saying something like sale, we could say minus, and it shows us the percentage, and we could say something like minus 26% off. We could also change the sales bubble style from circle to circle outline, or square outline, but I will leave it at circle. We could also change the icon. Before, we didn't have the option of changing the icon. We now could change it from basket to cart or bag. We could also change the style to outline or fill. So I'm going to leave it at fill. You could also change the color. So if you want to choose a different color, you could select that color here. But I'm going to leave that as my brand color so that it stays on brand, so I'll clear that. You could also choose to display the cart total or turn it off, as well as you could display the cart title. But I'll take off the title and leave on the total. You could change the product rating color as well. As we've noticed, we have the color here in the brand color, but let's say you wanted it to be something that stands out a little bit more, then you could choose a different color. I'll leave it as that for now. Let's go back and let's go to product catalog. One of the Pro features we can now change is the layout. This is the default grid view, but let's say we wanted to choose a list view, and let's choose 2 columns instead of 3. Okay, so that may be one way in how you may want your shop to look, but I'm going to leave it with the grid view with 3 columns. If you scroll down, you could also decide how many products per page you would like to display. Let's assume I would like to just do 6. So as you scroll down, you'll notice I have the pagination here, and you could also control that. You could decide which of the product features you want to display. For example, you may want to turn on the add to cart. If you scroll down, you could choose the alignment. It could be left aligned, or you may want it to be on the right. Let's leave it in the center. Currently, you have a box shadow, but if you would like to make that even more pronounced, you could increase the box shadow. And if you wanted the hover to be even more pronounced, you could have then have that adjusted. I'll make this 2 and I'll leave that as 5. As we scroll down, we could decide to adjust the product image hover style. So for example, we might choose swap image. And when you hover over the image, you will get an alternate view of the product. So I'll leave that. You scroll down, you could also change the vertical padding and horizontal padding for the button. Then we have the shop pagination. Currently it is set to number, but we could choose infinite scroll, and as we scroll down it will display the new products as we get to the bottom. You could decide though if you'd want to have a button to click to then display the additional items. So currently it says load more, so I'll leave it as that. You could also decide how you'd want to have the quick view function. Currently it's on image. If I hover my mouse over the image, I'll see that quick view icon appears. But if I change that from on image to after summary, you will see the button appears as a separate item. Or if you choose on image click, even though I hover my mouse over the image, I don't see anything until I click on the image, and then the quick view will appear. So I'm going to close that, but I'm going to choose on image. Then we have this filter button here, which have an off canvas button. So currently it is set as a button. I could also change it so that it is link, and we'll see this icon changes, but I'm going to change it back to button. Currently, if I click on this, I'm not seeing any filters here because I need to add this in the widget section. We're going to do that shortly. As you scroll down, you have the option of changing your colors here. So if I click on the pencil icon, I could change the color for the product title, the price, as well as the content color. So for example, the product title. Let's assume I would like to give that a different color. So if I choose a color, you'll notice the product title changes, and I could decide on a different color as necessary, but I'll change that back. You can do the same for your title and price and so on for the font style that you want to use. So for example, if I go to product title, instead of inheriting the product style, I could choose a different color. And let's say I want to choose Mali. We'll see the title changes. I'll leave that for now. Let's go back and let's choose single product, and we'll click on one of the images so we could see the settings as we change it. So we could choose the gallery layout from horizontal to vertical. So now we're seeing the images on the left side instead of below where it was. We could also edit the image width. So right now it's at 50%, but let's say we wanted that to be 40%. So we'll see this side is smaller and we have more space for our description and so forth. We can scroll down and we could decide if we want to disable that breadcrumbs we're seeing to the top there. So now it's disappeared. Let's turn it on by unchecking the box. Enabling Ajax Add to Cart will ensure that once we click something to the cart, it will not refresh the page. So we can enable that. You may want customers to be able to jump from one product to the next right within the product page. So you could turn on the product navigation, and we'll choose circle. So here we have the product navigation now turned on. As we scroll down, we have the product tab to the bottom here. We could decide if we want to turn that off, but in our case, that's very useful information, so we want to keep it on. We can change it to horizontal or vertical. Let's change it to vertical, and we can now choose between the different options here. We could also decide if we want to turn on or off the related and upsell items. We could also change the amount of columns for each. Currently it's set to 4. We could change it to 3, so we could see it a little bit more pronounced. But let's change it back to 4. All right, let's go back. The last thing we're going to look at is updating our checkout page. So we could decide if we would like to turn off some of these fields, such as the company name field. If we're not going to be using that, we could hide it. If we scroll down, we'll notice we have the option of changing our checkout page. Right now, we have all the information on one page. We could decide if we want to change it to a 2-step checkout. So with that, we now have the billing details on one page. And then we will click proceed to payment to move to the payment page. So it's a lot less details on one page. If we want to, we could also choose distract free checkout, which will disable the headings and title and so forth. So if we choose distraction free checkout, as well as we could use the labels as the placeholder so that we could simplify the page and have less things on the page at a time. So let's choose use labels as placeholders. So now our checkout page is much shorter. It looks like it has less details and not as much things to enter. Finally, we could choose persistent checkout form data. When selecting this, if someone inadvertently refreshed the page, it will ensure the information is saved. Let's publish our page and continue. Let's scroll up. Let's choose back and then back again. Let's look at how we could edit that flyout canvas. So here we had that filter button. Currently there is nothing in the canvas. So let's go to widgets and we have the off canvas filters. Let's add a widget and we're going to add filter by price. We're also going to add filter products by attribute. So here we have a product search. So if we click on the filter button again, we'll notice we're now seeing some of these filtering options, things like the price, the search box as well. Let's publish and let's choose back and back again. Let's look at some of the pro features that's going to allow us to edit our web page on mobile. It's very important that we have our e-commerce page looking excellent on mobile, and Astra Pro gives us some additional features we could change. So if we go to header and let's choose primary menu. If we scroll down, we'll notice we now have a section here that says mobile menu. Let's change the responsive button to mobile. Okay, we'll now see we have our mobile button here. We could change this option. Right now, it is set to flyout. So let's say we choose drop down so we could see a difference between these three. When I click the icon, you see it has a drop-down effect. Let's see how it looks differently with flyout. When I click the button, you may not have noticed it, but it flies out like from right to left. And it gives you the option here as to how you want it to fly out. So you could change it from left to right. So when I click the button, it flies out from left to right. But I'm going to change that to full screen. So when I click the button, you'll notice it takes up the entire screen. So when I come down to the menu, I'm not seeing anything else on the screen except for the menu. So I could close it, but I will change it back to flyout. If I scroll down, I have the option to change the color of the toggle button. So if I choose another color, you'll see the color now change for the toggle button, and you could change it for something that fits what you are looking for. But again, that's definitely going off brand for me. So I'm going to clear that and put it back to the default color. You could also change the border radius to something if you want it more square. You could change that, or you could make it more round as you choose. But let me reset that. Right now, the drop-down target is an icon, but we could change it to a link. So when I click on the button, the drop-down target affects how your sub-menu would function. So for example, if I click the menu and we have an account here, right now it's an icon. So if I click on the name for account, it will just refresh. So in this case, I have to click on this little arrow here. Then I will get the sub-menu. Now, if I change this from icon to link, if I click on the menu again, this time I don't need to click on the drop-down icon here. If I just click anywhere on the link, it will drop down. And then I could choose one of the options. So here I could add a border around the entire menu. So if I change this to 2, for example, and I change the color to a different color, if I click the drop-down menu now, you'll see this color around the menu there. But let me clear that. You also have the option of changing the color for the sub-menu and the menu as well. So if I click the drop-down arrow, I could change the background color. If I choose the menu, I'll notice that the background color has now changed, as well as the link and text color. I could change that to something else. So there you go. That's becoming very difficult to read, but I just want you to get an idea of where you could change that if you wanted to change that options. But I'll change mine back. You also have the option of changing the hover color as well by choosing hover and selecting a different color of your choice. So when you hover over the text, you'll notice the background color changes. I'll clear mine as well. And the same for active. If you choose active and change your active color, mine was this pink color. If I click the drop down arrow now, you'll notice it's white. The background is white, so you won't really see that. If I change the background color now, you'd probably see it much better. But again, that's not what I'm looking for, so I'm just going to clear that. But that's where you would go to change the color, and of course, and then you could change the font style below here for both your menu and your sub menu. I will leave that as is and just click publish. There's a lot more we could do with Astra Pro, but for now, these are some of the main things I want you to see how you could update your e-commerce website with some of these features. Let's move on and look at some of the pro features we could use in Elementor to really enhance our e-commerce website. Let's look at activating Elementor Pro. We're going to exit. We're going to come to plugins, add new. Let's choose upload plugin. And let's select our Elementor Pro plugin. You would have purchased yours and download a zip file. Let's just add it in the window here. You could choose file, or you could drag it to the window. Let's select install now and choose activate plugin. Once you've activated the plugin, you'd want to make sure you connect it to your account to ensure that the plugin is activated with your license. I've already done so with mine. So let's go to the front end and look at some of the pro features that we could use in Elementor Pro. I'm going to go to pages and choose all pages. I'm going to select my home page and I'm going to choose Edit with Elementor. So once you've loaded your page, if you come on the left, you will now notice you'll see a Pro section, and all these are some of the Pro widgets that's now activated. If you scroll down, you'll also see a WooCommerce section with some of the WooCommerce widget that we could now use. Let's look at how we could use some of these features. We scroll down on our page, we have a design of the week, and let's say we wanted to change this to a dynamic section that we could now highlight some of the specials that we're offering. So for example, this product here is the same as this product that we're offering at 26% off. Let's assume we wanted to highlight this product as, let's say, a deal of the day. So if we scroll up, let's change this to deal of the day. And we could change this description to represent the description that we have here, which is a dark teal printed t-shirt. We would like to also create a sense of scarcity. Let's add a countdown right below the deal of the day. We'll come in the Pro section and we will look for a countdown widget. And let's modify this and just make it a little bit more attractive. We're going to take off the days by clicking the hide button next to days. Let's turn on custom label and let's just make these a little bit shorter. We could also choose what happens after the time expires, and we could decide to just hide it. Now let's go to style. Let's change the background color to our brand color. And let's choose the border style. We're going to choose a solid style. And let's increase the width slightly. And let's choose the border radius. So let's say something like 25, just to make it a little rounded. Now let's see if we could make those texts a little smaller. Let's come to content. Let's choose typography. Let's click the edit button. And let's make that, let's say 20. And we'll do the same thing for the labels. Let's reduce the padding slightly. Okay, so let's work with that. What we want to also do is include the price, the before and after, and we could use an animated text to do that. So if we come down in the Pro widget, we'll look for animated headline. Let's add that just above the image. So if we scroll down, we'll notice that the price before was $34 and it's now $25. So we're going to say was, and the highlighted text, we're going to change that to the $34. And we're now going to say now $24. Let's change the shape from a circle to an X, and let's change the color. Let's select headline. Let's change the color and we'll choose a lighter gray. We could work with that. Now let's just add the button so we could just add that to the cart. So we're going to go back to the widgets. We'll scroll down in the WooCommerce section and we're going to choose the option for the custom add to cart. Now let's choose the products on the left. We'll change it from all and we'll start typing the name of the product. Let's select it. We can show the quantity, but we'll leave it hidden for now. We could always change the quantity when we're checking out. Let's come to button and we'll center the button. Let's change the text to say order now and let's update it. Let's look at another Pro feature we could add to our home page. Let's see how we could duplicate this section by using a more convenient widget that's offered in the Pro features. So let's click the handle, we'll right click and we'll say duplicate. But let's say we wanted to create a clearance sale section. So let's change the title from our featured product to clearance sale. And we're going to remove this widget because right now this is using a short code. This might not be that easy to edit. So we're going to remove this and we're going to scroll down and look in the WooCommerce section. And we're going to look for this products widget and we'll drag it into the window. So right now it's displaying 4 rows and 4 columns. Let's just change it 1 row, and let's go to query, and let's change the source from latest product to sale. So currently we're not seeing the sales badge properly. Let's look at how we could edit that. Let's go to style, and if we scroll down, we have sales flash, and we have this distance button here. Let's look at how we could change that. Okay, so we could now adjust that so we're seeing that much better now. So let's create some padding to the bottom of the button so that we could get some more space there. We can do that by coming to box, and we'll come to padding, and next to bottom, let's increase that. Let's make that 50. Okay, we leave it as is, and let's update it. We scroll down. We now see our call to action here. We have a nice animation just highlighting the savings, and if we click order now, this adds it to our cart, and we have the view cart button. We could click on that, and we could go ahead and check out our item. But let's go back to the home page. We scroll down further. We will see the clearance sales section we included. We have our nice sales badge, and we have a little bit of space. If we hover over our item, we see our quick view button appears. If we click on the quick view, we now have the pop-up with a quick view, and we could add this to the cart as well. The last thing we're going to look at is how can we combine some of the pro features of Elementor as well as Astra. Let's look at one of those features we could do. What if we wanted to add a call to action to the top of our page, showing a countdown that we're having, and we would like that to be displayed across our website? Let's look at how we could do that. If we come to appearance, and below Astra options, we have custom layouts. Let's choose that. We'll choose add new. Let's give it a title of sales banner. We'll come down, and below layout, we're going to choose the drop down arrow, and we're going to choose hooks. The action, let's put it to header before, and we're going to display it on the entire website. And for user roles, we're going to display it for all users. Even though we could have displayed it for those that are logged out or logged in, let's just choose all. And we'll scroll up, and we'll now say edit with Elementor. Let's add a 3-column structure. On the left, we're going to add a text, and we're going to add a code here. So we're going to say code save 25. In the middle, we're going to add another text. We're going to say special offer 25th anniversary, and then we're going to say limited. Let's bold that. And on the right, we're going to put a countdown timer. Let's just make that a little bit smaller. Let's clear the background. And let's apply a background color to the entire background. Let's bring it more to the top. We'll change the color here to white as well. We're going to reduce the bottom margin here as well. And let's do the same for the code on this side. We'll just copy the settings, and we will just paste the style. So we've reduced the padding by going to style, and below box, we've just taken off the padding, and then we could have taken off the margins that we've added. Now that looks much better. Let's just publish. And now let's check how this looks on our website. We're going to go back to the home page, and let's refresh it. Okay, so we now have the sales banner to the top of our web page, counting down this special that we have. If we go to another page, let's say we go to our shop page, we still have that sales banner to the top of our page. Congratulations if you've made it this far. We've gone through quite a bit. If you missed anything, I'll leave the links in the description so you could catch up. I hope you gained something from the video. Remember, leave a comment. You might have a question, something you're not sure about. I may do a follow-up video just to clarify those items. But if this video was useful, please remember, click like, Subscribe to the channel so when I post more video like this, you'll get notified. Oh yeah, you gotta ring that notification bell to ensure that you do get notified. But see you in the next one.